The following content contains personal experiences of our hosts and guests. We are not experts in this matter. We encourage challenging conversations with others and to achieve healing from our childhood. We hope to connect and allow a safe space to have an open discussion. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a qualified professional, diagnosis, or treatment.
We're just super excited to just collaborate and just do great things together as women. So
Yes. Happy Women's
Man, this should have been my intro.
You could.
Welcome back, First Gen podcast listeners, feelers. Hope everyone's having a great year so far. We're approaching spring, or is it already spring? I'm not sure.
Spring is sprung.
Yeah, exactly. We're feeling the hot weather here in SoCal. And exciting, March is Women's History Month. So us fabulous ladies here are just so excited to collaborate and work together on this episode. I'm Nina Flores, one of your hosts, and I'm joined with my lovely cousin and co-host,
Tiffany, Kristie. Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back. And then we are joined by these two lovely ladies, reintroducing Karina, who's been on our podcast before, so welcome back.
Thank you.
So excited to have you back. And then introducing Charleen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. Yeah, so just super excited about this episode, only because, again, it's Women's History Month. But we really want to hone in on and talk about what it means to be a first-gen American. Whether you're Latina, Filipina, whatever it is, we're going to focus on that today and just kind of talk about other topics as well. So I will turn it over to you, Charleen. Just go ahead and tell us about yourself.
First generation. My parents are from Mexico. They both came here, well, illegally, whatever that means. My mom is from Jalisco, Mexico, and my dad's from Colima, but they met here. And so I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley, and only recently, maybe like 8-9 years ago, moved out to LA proper, Highland Park, to teach. Yeah. I'm a teacher. I teach first grade. I've been doing that for, I think, 10 years now.
Yes.
Half kinder, half first grade. And, it's been, I thought it was just going to be like a job. Then it was like, this is a career. And now it's helped me really understand myself because I teach bilingual. So I teach Spanish, English, dual immersion. And so, it's been really great. I find myself in spaces with wonderful women like you all the time now, so I feel really privileged.
Awesome.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we always appreciate educators like you two. I was a very bad student growing up, so now I think about like teachers. I'm like, oh my gosh,
There's no bad
like
student,
I could have.
it's just a bad system.
Yes. There you go. And then do you have any siblings? Are you an only child?
I have siblings. So I have 2 older sisters, much older. They're about 12, 13 years older than I am. And then I have a younger brother, 11 years younger.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I really was raised closely with my niece. She's 7 years younger, so she's actually a lot closer in age to me than my sisters and my brother. So oddly, we were raised more like sisters. And I have a couple nieces, a couple nephews in the immediate family.
Awesome.
But they're all born here, and so we all have that first gen experience. But it's been really different because, it's colored by the different generations. So we've got Gen X, Millennial.
Yep.
So it's all very, it's really interesting, the different iterations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned you teach bilingual. So was English your first language, or was it Spanish? What were you taught first?
It's Spanish, and then once you get to school, you're taught to assimilate. And I was like an English-only school, and it's supposedly a progressive bubble here in LA, but actually the history of bilingual education, it's kind of yo-yos back and forth to illegal, to legal, illegal. Like teachers literally getting fired for speaking Spanish to their kids to make them feel welcome, and not being able to speak Spanish to Spanish-speaking students. And so now bilingual education recently a friend coined or shared the term with me, like a boutique bilingual program. So now they're popping up everywhere because everybody wants their kid to be multilingual, but they're not, they don't have the foundation of like the fourth pillar, the critical consciousness, the ethnic studies. So it's like the language without any of the soul. So anyway, but yes, Spanish, and then at school you kind of you take on English, and then my parents needed to practice their English. They were studying for their citizenship test at the time. I vividly recall my mom asking me to speak English to her so that she could practice and she could pass her test. And so, yeah, I mean, inevitably you lose out on some experiences there with the language. But yeah, I have always had this interest in my own language. So I've even like since high school, I would go out of my way like to like seek out those classes and those opportunities to take Spanish language classes, and that's how I think I ended up in dual language now.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I just learned this recently through somebody else. I didn't even know it was illegal to like be speaking. And that's crazy to me.
It was illegal. A teacher would be fired, a child would be reprimanded, and oftentimes parents of first-gen kids, it's like they are trying to assimilate, and that is English is the language of power, and that gives you access to different spaces, and you can make more money if you speak English. Funnily enough, now it's like, well, now if you're multilingual, now you make more money because you could translate for everybody that's English only in the workplace. But it wasn't always that. I think that's a recent phenomenon. When I discovered, like, even dual language was not advertised in my program at CSUN.
Wow.
And like it's, you know, it's in a Latino, Northridge is in a Latino community, but nobody was like, hey, do you want to go into dual language? There are all these schools. I only learned of it because I was looking for jobs and I was moving out of my parents' house. So I was looking elsewhere, and I, you know, came upon the school I'm at now. So, but yeah, it was illegal, and yeah, but that's just kind of, I don't know, it's nobody's fault. It's like your parents just want to make it. They want to survive. They want to give you, everything. And
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, with my parents, like, I never learned Tagalog. My mom speaks it to me all the time, but when I was growing up, my parents just wanted my brother to fit in, you know, just speak English, do the best you can, be American. So it's really interesting. But now I'm feeling like, okay, I do want to learn about my culture. I do want to learn how to speak the language. And it's never too late, even in my 40s now. But it is definitely something. I'm like, it is a goal. She texts me sometimes in Tagalog. I'm like, yes, keep it going. And then I'm like on Google Translate, like, how do I respond to that? So
I always find it interesting, like, why, because I have cousins that haven't retained the language. We're similar age. How is it for you guys? Like, what are the messages around language that you got? Like, whether or not you picked it up, you didn't, was it reinforced, was it not?
Well, as I was getting older, like, other family members, we were like shamed for not speaking the language or not knowing. Right? Did you feel the same way?
Totally. And I mean, same with her parents. It's like, for me, they didn't say it was illegal. They didn't tell us why to not speak Tagalog at school or what have you. They're like, just speak English. Just want you to, you know, fit in and be comfortable and not also be made fun of and all these things. So, my parents spoke in Tagalog, so I was able to absorb and understand it at home, but still spoke back in English. So I didn't have, like, if I speak in Tagalog, there's like an accent. And then this is where family members would shame me for not speaking it the correctly way. And then I'm just like, well, I'm trying. And then that also, you know, hindered me from actually learning more. So it was just like this weird dance growing up at a young age. And funny enough, there was like a mini family reunion for one of my aunties that I went to. And that was one of the questions they asked, because these were cousins that were born in the Philippines. And they were all talking in Tagalog at the party. And they saw me there as a first-generation American. They saw me there and, like, can you even understand what we're saying? And I'm like, yes. and they're like, because they were just, you know, speaking straight up in Tagalog, and I'm like, I understand everything you're saying, and if and I said that in Tagalog, like I only know a little bit, like konti lang or whatever, and they were like, oh, okay, but they just had this preemptive like notion of like, oh, she only speaks English, but doesn't understand the story too as an like first generation American, because they came out here at a later age. But yeah, there's still within the family, it still has like that. Oh, you're not Filipino enough, or
it's a litmus
you're
test.
not American
They'll
enough.
ask you. I've been asked from migrants as well that have come when they were 13, 14, 15, and you know, the first question is like, do you speak Spanish? And I I teach in Spanish, so but I will still say, yeah, kind of. Like I'm still learning. I'm still very, because I understand the gaps that I have, and I'm trying to learn those and improve it. But it's very much like how Filipino you are, how Mexican you are, like how connected to your roots you are when you had no choice in the matter.
Right.
So it's really, I don't know, it's hard.
Yeah. It is tough.
Can I ask, when you get asked that and you're like, oh, un poco, or like, right, kind of like, sort of like, like you are an instructor, but
I know.
you like are diminishing.
I do.
Right? I feel like that is like a universal, like, characteristic of women that were, like, I'll do that too. Like, where I don't want to be perceived as knowing more than maybe I do. You know, I'd rather like somebody perceive me as no less and then me surprise them than to seem overconfident or cocky but I'm like that but
right.
Men have no issue with coming off and being like,
Tell me about it.
I don't know, does that resonate with you?
It does. It is like, that's where you get the intersectionality of like, not only are we first generation, it's like first generation women. So there is a layer of the modesty and the downplaying. And a bit of that is imposter syndrome, right? I don't know if it's like I'm an imposter in my own culture because I wasn't born in Mexico, but I very much like yearn to like be very Mexican and exude it, but that almost makes me feel like a poser, right? Like I'm trying too hard for my own culture. It's a really odd thing, but then your family makes you feel that way, because at the same time that they want you to learn Tagalog and Spanish.
Yeah.
They shame you when you don't do it correctly. So it doesn't reinforce what they want. And ultimately it defeats, you know, I know like both of our cultures, like we want to pass on tradition. We love like legacy and tradition and family. And so it's just an interesting paradox. I don't know. Yeah. And that with the layer of being a woman is very much, it's just feeling like an imposter, I think. We feel it in the workplace, but this is another aspect of it with language. So I downplay, and I hate when I do it. And if a student, I would never tell my student to do that. I tell my kids to be proud of how they speak it and be unafraid. Right. But I preemptively downplay the expectation because I don't want to be proven wrong, like I'm a fraud.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, language is so important. I've recently been introduced to this term by Dr. Aponte. They're a researcher in like racial linguistic justice. That's like a new, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like puts a term to the complexities in dual language programs, and even speaking and non-speaking children. When we talk about deaf students and students that communicate in like with programs, you know, in different ways, and that's not even validated. So it's just like, it's interesting. Language.
Yeah. Wow.
And now Do you have kids, T? Do you have kids?
I don't.
Tina?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
You
No.
must think about this a lot then, and passing down the
Always.
language.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh my gosh.
Anytime my mom's around, I'm like, you're speaking.
Yeah.
Okay. Change it up because
Not allowed to speak English.
yeah, you're speaking only
great.
Tagalog, and she's been so good with my
Nice.
son.
Good.
And saying both, like translating it into English. So
Yeah.
I think he's picking it up. There's some words he even asked, like, how do I say this? So it's like at least he's interested,
Good.
and he's also learning Spanish
Yeah.
too. So I'm just trying to get as
Wow.
much
Yes.
multilingual, multicultural for him. Because yeah, at a young age you absorb so much, right?
Right.
So I'm just language is important, and I
Yeah.
think that's the one way that we can pass on our native, like our native
Yes.
language, and not feel hindered by it because we grew up at a different time. Now it's more, that connects you. It connects
Yeah.
you with others. So why not? And it connects him to his grandma. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
Mom, keep speaking Tagalog. So yeah, it's important.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
That's so great that you're doing that. And I was wondering, Charleen, because I entered into a master's program for administration. There's a few bilingual instructors, and I was so surprised to hear that some of their parents of their students, they would say like, why do we don't want isn't learning Spanish alongside the English only going to hurt their English development?
Yeah.
Like there's this I guess like misconception of that, like we don't want them to, like they can learn Spanish at home, but like school is for English. Like why should they also be learning? Why is it part of the instruction?
Yeah.
And so that misconception I think is really hard for a lot of instructors to, accept, and then kind of have to like work around and also try to convince the parents that actually this is the more the more their first language develops, then the secondary language will develop even more so. So like it's important to develop both of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like parents are already empowered, right? But I think it's also sharing research and like valuing parents, especially mothers, like in this month, like recognizing how they're the ones that are often all day with the kids, whether it's like making dinner, bathing them, helping them with their homework. Like this is just what I see. Not that dads are not as involved, they definitely are. And I've served families where like the father is the primary like parent and they're the ones doing all that. But for the most part, it's moms that are answering my phone calls, moms that are volunteering. And so it's so important that we share the research with them and like understand that they could comprehend that and understand that complex things. And sometimes I don't know if we share that. And also, the district needs to be on top of like educating the teachers, and the teachers need to speak in an educated way about the programs that they're in, especially if they're like in a dual language program. But there's a lot of research that shows the benefits of dual language education on the brain and the longevity, long term. And there's a reason why kids take a while in a dual language program to, like the brain is just naturally like making sense of the two languages, and it takes a bit, but once they get there, maybe second, third grade, then it's like they start to outshine really their monolingual peers. And it's because they're doing rigorous things. They're like making sense of the grammar, the syntax, the pragmatics of like the two languages, and they're making sense of that. So when a child actually is code switching, that is incredible work that they can fit words from one language into the grammar of a sentence of another language. That's kind of wild work. And so we need to actually value the rigor that our students in dual language programs are putting in. Like they're doing hard work. And if we can teach that to parents in a really educated way of showing them the research and valuing that they can understand that and finally make a decision for their kid before they choose a program, then I think I think will be better for it because they'll understand it. And like you said, it's like this is how we pass on culture. It's a little hard to pass on culture without the language. It can definitely be done, but language holds so much nuance. Like all of the jokes, all of the idioms, all of the sayings that you have, all of that is so special.
Right.
And it's hard without to reach back to your ancestors without language. You kind of lose that connection.
Yeah. That is so interesting with the research. Thanks for sharing that, because I think, Karina, what you're saying, like, I think that's how my parents were thinking too. They never said it out loud, but I think they just didn't want my brother and I to be confused or have some sort of developmental issues. But no, I mean, as educators, I'm glad that you feel empowered to be able to educate parents on this. And there's like the research that backs it up, which I was a psychology major. So all of this, I'm like, ooh, the brain, everything, really interesting to me. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, child development is really cool. And pre-K, TK educators will know more than I do. But I just remember in like the 1 or 2 child development courses I had to take for my program, we learned about like the brain, and when a child is born, like they can distinguish between all of the different sounds in all of the languages in the entire world. Like they're still attuned to it, and the brain starts pruning pretty quickly and attending to what's in their environment for survival. Like it doesn't make sense to attune to other sounds that I don't hear in my immediate environment on a daily basis. And so depending on what you're exposing your baby to, even in the womb, like at a very young age, it's like you are helping to keep their mind open to those possibilities. And then the brain really quickly starts to kind of prune and not attend to those things. It doesn't mean like as an older adult, like an older child or adult can never learn. Obviously that's not the case, but it's just easier. And so the brain is actually like primed. Like it's just like certain countries that we don't value that. It's interesting. Like Mexico is also a pretty monolingual country. We don't really value indigenous languages. We kind of put those to the side. They're not even called languages. They're called dialects. They're languages. And then here it's like English, right? You get to the U.S. and you learn English. So I think even for Mexicans, it's like, well, they're coming from a monolingual culture kind of to another one. So it makes sense. And I never fault parents for that. It's just like an explaining, you know, and they can decide. But parents just want the best for their kids. They're not trying to deprive them of anything.
Totally.
And then you don't know what you don't know. And then when you know, you just do better. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's our job as first gen.
I know, exactly.
Cycle breaking.
Yes.
Yes.
That actually is like Maya Angelou, like that's her quote, right? Like I got this mirror and I was like, that isn't, I somehow like ran into that quote and I was like, I'm going to put that on the mirror because I think it's just so beautiful about like that we can give ourselves grace and we're only learning, you know, every day or step by step or, you know, journey through journey, and we don't know what we don't know, and then when we do know, let's do it better, you know. And I think it's just so beautiful. I love that.
There's like such a humility to that.
It is,
And I think if you stay open like that, then, you know, I love that you're learning Tagalog now and you're pushing yourself to do that. That's really hard. And without, I'm imagining you're so busy, and so you're doing that. I love that.
Yeah.
When did that journey start for you?
I think like when we started this podcast, for me, because then I started to realize, much like what you all said, it's language is really the connector, you know. And I was feeling a little disconnected from my family. I mean, my mom speaks Tagalog to me all the time, so I can understand it. But as I'm trying to like grow my relationship with her and just with my family, I'm like, I really would love to just learn to speak the language. I mean, Tiff, she's just texting away in Tagalog, which is great. So just having you as like somebody who's also trying to learn
I'm
is
learning
so
it
amazing.
too. So we're bouncing off each other.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's these it's practice, right? Or we lose it. And that's why anytime I see my mom now, I'm just like, just please talk to me Tagalog, because I don't, there's not like I have like not a lot of friends that speak it too, so it's just like they're first gen also, and I'm just like, can we all try and learn it together? You know, collectively, like that would be so cool. You know,
just have like coffee dates where it's
I
like
know,
no
just
English,
Tagalog.
just Tagalog.
That's actually what we should do.
Yeah.
That'd
be really cool.
Can I ask you, Tiff, about that? Because I thought about the same thing with like with my mom. So my first language was also Spanish, but then quickly, just like Charleen said, you know, it just gets weeded out really fast. And my stepdad, he didn't. He just wanted to continue speaking only English, and so we just spoke English in the house. And so I have tried sometimes, or like had intentions of like speaking in Spanish with my mom, but because of all the years of speaking English, the emotional connection with her is mostly in English.
So
But I do know that there's like a very strong emotional. It's almost like if when I can even think about like speaking to her in Spanish, where I can get like emotional, like crying, because it's almost like it's such a. I spoke Spanish until I was about 4, like when my stepdad and his family came into our lives, and then I just started to learn English, and I picked it up really fast. And so I feel like those 4 formative years were just like really somehow like part of my core, and I like to speak. I would love to speak to her in Spanish primarily, but because as I grew up, I mostly spoke to her in English. It's almost like I can connect with her the best in my expression of my emotions to her in English. So what is that for you? Like, are you able to connect with her in the same way?
Oh, it's English.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Yeah, that's, again, I'm also relearning and trying to connect the dots, and I let her know, like, hey, I want to try and learn this. And before, at least, I think it was more like I was too ashamed and too scared to.
Yeah.
But now just giving her straight up, like, hey, I want to learn this, and now having a son, it's just like, this is our language, this is our culture, this is our family. I want to at least be brave enough and not be hindered of being made fun of, or by her saying, like, you're saying it wrong. Like, now she's at least giving me a little grace of, like, relearning it. And, and sometimes she's like, that doesn't make sense what you wrote. You know? And I'm like, okay, well, how do I, you know, conjugate this properly?
Yeah, right.
Like, because that's where it gets kind of confusing, at least in Tagalog, in my experience. So it's still, I'm still learning that part as well. But it's English, like you said, it's just so much easier to express it in my first language to her, because that's what we originally had. Right. You know.
That's just so amazing. I just want to applaud you for just being so vulnerable. You know, like putting yourself in a vulnerable place. I know, like, we've discussed in, you know, the last time I was here, just how complex the mother-daughter relationship can be, especially with, you know, being like a first-gen daughter of an immigrant. And so that, I just, honestly, that is so admirable that you can just put yourself out there to, like, open, you know, for criticism. But it sounds like she's really open to being, like, as gracious as she can be, you know, and also kind of, like, changing how she delivers, you know, instruction, which is huge. Lovely.
Yes. Yes. I think now that she has a grandson, I think that also helped change a lot of the dynamics, which is great. So I'm just like, just blessed that we can start over, you know?
That's incredible.
So.
Beautiful.
I really love that, what you said, just like the mother-daughter complexity, because I think for me, and I'm not sure for all of you, it's like, just, I feel like I am restarting my relationship with my mom, especially now I'm trying to, like, I know, now I'm trying to speak to her in Tagalog, like, and also just learning about her, you know, and how she felt as an immigrant parent. Like, I think we talked about this when you were last on the show, and it was just, it's so emotional, and I think it should be, because our parents, especially moms have more responsibilities. I'm not saying dads don't, but moms look at responsibilities differently. And so as I've gotten older, I'm like, just restarting that relationship with her is just a beautiful journey for me. And yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm curious though. I mean, I guess you brought up a good point. It's like when I speak to her in English, I mean, that I've been speaking to her in English my whole life. So that to me is my emotional connection. When I speak to her in Tagalog, I don't feel it as much because it's not a language I was speaking to her.
Right.
But I wonder for her, like when she speaks English to me or she tries to, it's like, I wonder if it's like now she's like,
interesting. Yeah.
I wonder if like her emotional connection is her speaking Tagalog to
Yes,
me.
because that's what she probably spoke.
Yeah. So it's an interesting point that you brought up. Now I'm like curious.
Now I'm like
I'll
want to
have
go
to
ask my mom.
I
right?
know.
'Cause I feel the same way. Like, because I'm so worried. I'm thinking about how am I speaking? Am I
Like
speaking?
how you're
saying
delivering it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You know, like most importantly, I'm not thinking about necessarily the emotional connection that is happening. But yes, I wonder if I would ask her, like, this is my experience. What is your experience?
Yeah.
You know, because she spoke to me in Spanish those first full 4 years, and then beyond that too. You know, but that bonding time that you have with your child, like, it was like cariñoso, like that was like her like giving the love, you know, to her baby in her language, which is so beautiful to think about. And yeah, I wonder what that is like. That's such a great, point and insight to bring up. I'm going to have to ask her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
I feel also that's so interesting. I find like when I am getting more emotional in a conversation with my mom, like just in the past, it's like I'll switch to English because this is the language that I can defend myself the best in and explain myself the best in. And with Spanish, because we're all developing all of our languages all the time. But I would say like with Spanish, that's where I'm learning more, especially how to convey like complex emotion and ideas and elaborate myself well. I feel like I can elaborate better on my feelings in English. So I'll start in Spanish, but if I'm feeling attacked in any way or if I'm feeling like I need to defend myself in the conversation, then I'll switch to English. But that must feel to my mom, even though she's been here for like 30 plus years. She's more comfortable in Spanish. I wonder if that puts her in the defense as well. It's almost like I don't know. That's
Let's go ask her moms after this.
Homework assignment.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Bring mom to the podcast.
Oh, God.
Yes. Yeah. It made me think about, and I wonder if, through the different languages, when I go to El Salvador and I visit my family, my cousins are there, there's a way in which they'll ask questions, which is like, oh, you didn't want to come. Like if I didn't want to go to the beach or something, they'll say like, you didn't want to come, but they'll say it in Spanish, like, no quisieras ir, right? And I don't feel defensive at all. But if somebody were to ask me, you didn't want to go to the beach, I'd be like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Well,
how does that? But
nuance
but in Spanish, I don't get defensive at all. There's a weird, and I'm like, why is that? I don't even know why that exists. And I suddenly like became aware and conscious of the same question, but in a different language, has a different like undertone, reaction for me, So like for me in English, I'm like, what do you mean? But in Spanish, I'm like, I didn't want to go. It's fine.
It's probably like what you were saying before, where like the emotion is tied to it, right? So it's like, and there's it's the pragmatics of the language too. And those things don't always translate really well.
Right.
So there's like a pragmatics that you understand in that. So I think that's why when you're learning it later on and you're corrected for things that you don't necessarily understand why it's not the correct way to say it, that can be so tricky. And if your parent doesn't understand this is when we say this, and if they don't have that and that time, sometimes honestly, our parents, I feel like if they just had time and they weren't always hustling when we were kids, and like I feel like that would have fixed so much, but I feel like also it's like they don't have the luxury of like time to sit there and explain to you like the language, like you just have to know it.
Right.
But that sounds like pragmatics to me. It's like
so
you're understanding something that's never been explicitly taught to you.
Right.
You just picked it up. You just learned it from watching others.
I love that you just said that, because on the way here when we were talking, Charlie was talking about, like how her mom would like be waking up early on weekends and like doing the house chores and being like, when are you gonna get up and like help me with the chores?
Oh no, she would be getting me up.
Yeah, kidding. Slamming the cupboard doors.
Like, why are you slamming these girls like 8 a.m? It's a Saturday.
But that like hustle culture of like there's, and I took some time off of work and I realized I don't know how to not be busy. Like I had to sit with myself because I was like, I really need to just become unbusy because I'm always trying to like make the most out of my time. Productivity has been like a thing in my household. Like there's always something to do. And if you're not doing something, then you should be. Basically.
Or you're labeled
or you're labeled
lazy.
Yes,
So,
we're just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much here. I'm just like, but you're talking about like the labor that you're kind of directing to about like mothers especially, and I think just women in general do a lot more like emotional labor, that invisible labor, right, of what it is to take care of the people around you, and not only just like the physical chores and like keeping of the home, but remembering the birthdays and like thinking about like that is so much
the
time,
mental load,
resources, exactly, yes,
that no one talks about.
Yes.
It just miraculously happens.
Yes.
Like,
or the keeping of the peace in the family, like being the person that
Emotional.
hears the gossip and then like tries to like talk to the other cousin or the auntie, to try to like make things a little bit more harmonious or like defend other people. There's just a lot. My mom does that, with my family in El Salvador. Like people always just, our family comes to her because she's very like composed and calm and can like really make you feel heard, and and then
That's so much
it
responsibility.
is. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I think about when, I mean, she will pass one day and I'm like, how am I going to,
I see. Like you carry
what is
that?
What will that look like for me? How will I continue investing in the relationships that she created and cultivated? Because I don't want to disconnect from my family, but I also haven't done the work that she has done. But I know that I could carry these things if I chose to. Do I? It's just like it's a burden that I'm starting to think about and like carry a little bit more because she won't always be around. Yeah.
I think about that a lot because my mom is kind of the person in that family, or in our family, right? Like everyone kind of goes to her. She's the one that is a little bit more proactive. She's always taking initiative. And now I'm going to cry because you kind of brought up like, it is something that I've been thinking about a lot, because she's getting older. I'm like, I can't live up to that. Like, I'm just I'm not good enough for that, Sometimes I remind myself, okay, I have to give myself grace. I am not her, and, she shaped me to be the person I am today, and I'm very grateful for that. But I think if we put that pressure on ourselves, it's going to hurt us more. But I think, it's a lot of responsibility as women. We take on so much because in this room, I know the four of us, we are always looking to care for somebody else.
yes.
Like we put ourselves last, know. But yes, taking time off. I took time off from work as well, and it was nice to just slow down. And much like you, I'm like, how do I slow down? Like, I was sleeping until 8. That's sleeping in for me because I usually wake up at 5. And then I'm like, okay, now I like wasted half the day. I'm lazy. You put all these thoughts in your head because you're like, well, society wants me to be like this. And then my parents immigrated from another country and I'm supposed to be successful. It's a lot to really internalize. And so, but I think, like you said, it's a great reminder to just slow down, and we have to kind of retrain our brains to slow down and not to be so hard on ourselves, especially as women.
Hell yes. I just have to say for myself at least, like I'm claiming this year as the year of rewiring because
I like
there's
that.
so much that I have internalized that weren't bad, but I realize they're not serving me anymore. Like the pressure of like always being productive or doing something, like providing a deliverable, right? Whether it's at home or work or my family. or friendships. And yes, I tend to always put like other people's needs before mine. And I think that's like a very female gender thing, you know.
It's also
that we're
very
just
Latina.
It is very
thing, and
Latina,
I
yeah. It's very
imagine in your
nurturing.
culture as well is like, what does everybody come around? It's like the home, the food.
Yes.
That we're literally always nourishing others around us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that when you talk about your mother and or like passing on that legacy of or how do we live up to what they have done, the role that they played in our families, I appreciate you saying that we need to give ourselves grace because we are not those women. And I would honestly challenge our mothers, like, thank you for doing that. But also, how have we enabled some of our family members to not step up for themselves or not show up for themselves or others? Because the women, the matriarchs have stepped in so much. You know, I have a really wonderful boss and like colleague, and one thing that she would say is like she's like, Karina, you need to stop like volunteering for things because because I'd like like who would like to like head up the talent show or whatever, right?
Like,
and I'm like, okay, crickets, I'll do it, you know. And then she was like, pulled me aside, she's like, you can't. No one else is going to step up. You have to step aside so that other people step up. And if that makes the room quiet and uncomfortable, then that's what it will be. And I really thought about that a lot, like especially with my mother, because she's a wonderfully like caring person. But I do think that, you know, she may have, I guess, I would love to see what it would look like for her to put herself first sometimes above like other people's needs, and how much when we do that, like we repress ourselves and we don't step into like our like in our authority or like our sovereignty when we let other people around us carry some of the load or carry the load.
That's really beautiful. Maybe it's an opportunity now that our moms are getting older, and to, instead of seeing it as like a burden, like how am I going to carry it on, maybe what new roles can be created and what new, you know, maybe it's an opportunity to start fresh, right? Like I think death is always really hard, but it can be a rebirth of like their legacy and honoring the person, and then also thinking about how we can recreate some of the dynamics here. And like it's like a good pause and reflection point, you know, like what now? Because that's not sustainable.
It's not. And I think they did it for a long time. You know, because they could. But just because we can doesn't mean that we should sometimes. But I love that like reframing of it, of just like this could be a way to kind of like refresh, recalibrate, re-examine and reevaluate like the roles that we play.
And like break those cycles too. Most recently, my mom, I feel like she's starting to set boundaries, because my brother called her like last minute. He's like, can you watch the kids? But she had plans because she volunteers with the community a lot. And I think it was like so hard for her to say no, but she said no. And then my brother's like, like, how dare you? But to your point, it's like, because she kept enabling that behavior, and then he was getting used to
rescuing.
Like,
she's basically very
and like ever
savior.
And ever since then, she's been able to say no, because she truly has like stuff that she wants to do for herself, you know,
as she should.
And my brother can figure it out, or I'll watch the kids, whatever. But I remember when she told me, because she called me after, she's like, I felt so bad, but like I already committed to the church, I have to like be there like for this group. I'm like, Mom, it's fine, you know. But like
she was conflicted clearly.
And for 72 years, she probably like felt like she had to say yes to everyone and to please everyone, to be that person. And I think to me, I was like, Mom, thank you like for saying no for like the first time, because we all have to set those boundaries. Just don't say no to me. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That's so good. She also like reached out to you and to talk about it instead of internalizing it.
I know.
If she kept that inside,
that
was like,
I know.
Wow.
I was
She,
surprised. I'm like,
that's
wait,
some
who? What?
great stuff.
That's gross.
Yeah,
That's
amazing.
beautiful.
It is, yeah. So I'm seeing that
That's awesome.
for her now, and I'm just like encouraging her, like, yeah, you have to like take care of yourself. You have to say no sometimes, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And then I'm learning too in my own life, like both professional and personal. I can't be always the one volunteering. I'm a natural born leader, but yeah, when the room is quiet, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I guess I'll just do it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Because
right.
no one else is.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we have to break that cycle because we need others to step up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, so I appreciate you sharing that because it's so true. It is so true. We need to stop enabling other people, have them step up, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like you're parenting like your parent in a way?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
How much time do we have?
Ever.
Because and I don't know if I can necessarily speak to this. I'm not so close to my family, including my mom. Now, maybe one day I will be again. But you both seem to have such a close relationship with your mom, and you've told me, and it's complex, and it has boundary setting, but it's almost like they're going through like another, I don't know if it's like another puberty, I would call it, or like another kind of stage where they're redefining themselves, especially if they had kids young. I think my mom had my sisters when she was like 14, 15. And so she never got, I would say, even like her teen years. Like I would say that was,
Yeah.
you know, you're a mom, you're an adult. You now have a husband, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you have kids, like you're a mom. And so now that her kids are like grown, she doesn't really have to worry about them so much, drive them to different things. I feel like she's now like not like a kid again, but like it's like another step in her womanhood where it's like, now what do I want? You know, like your mom is thinking about this community role where she must find a lot of fulfillment in.
Absolutely.
And her coming to you to be like, was this okay? I like love that because now you're getting to pay that forward to her, all the guidance that she gave you. Now you're like reassuring her in her choices.
Yeah.
In this new stage in her life, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. And yeah, I do feel like she's going through like, I guess like a puberty or something, like just this new phase in her life that
An awakening.
I wanted her to discover because I was afraid for a long time that she was just going to be mom, like she was just going to be parent. Like, you know, I mean, yes, she still calls me and my brother and like, hey, have you guys eaten? Are you guys okay? Like she'll check in, but I want her to not be a parent anymore and just be happy and do whatever she, you know, she feels like she wants to do. And I think she's, the past like couple of years, she's been doing that. And she has so much love for the community. And she's a huge advocate for women too. So I think that is her life fulfillment now. You know, like she was a mom and she still is a mom. But now this is like her next phase in her life. But I think she is going through some growing pains because her discovering to like say no, like it was so uncomfortable for her, but it was so necessary for her growth. So yeah, I do think it's really beautiful. I do feel like sometimes I am parenting her in a way. But I think that's the relationship I want to have with her. I want her to come to me when she's having, you know, conflicts in life and vice versa. So yeah, I think we're growing together and moving forward together, which I never ever imagined my mom and I would ever do something like that. You know what I mean? So
You're
it is
evolving
really,
together.
Yes,
That's so beautiful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for every moment of that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I wonder why mothers can do that so well. I find that fathers, well, my personal experience, it's much harder for men to kind of, it's the pride. I find that with Latino men. It is the pride that gets in their way of deepening their relationships with their adult children. It's like they can't. And with moms, I feel like even with my mom, it's like I've been able to talk to her about relationships and about different things here and there that have been hard. And like you, I was like, I would have never imagined this. This is cool. It's like a new level unlocked. Like, what?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think maybe it's like the gender roles too.
Yeah.
In culture, I mean, In our culture, not sure if it's similar in your culture, but it's, the man has to be the man, right?
Yeah, that's
Don't
the same.
show
I'm a machista.
emotions. Don't
be vulnerable.
don't be
Like,
vulnerable. You have to
be
be the
so tough and
protector of the
strong.
family.
Yeah.
The woman, the mom is usually the one that nurtures and takes care of the kids. They're the emotional ones. So I wonder if that's still kind of the case with men and the pressures from society too.
Yeah.
So it's not just cultural, but like pressures in society. If we see a man cry, we instantly say, "Oh, he's being a wuss," and it's like, no, he has feelings too.
emotions.
So I
Yeah.
think maybe it's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but yeah. So I mean, as much as I want to celebrate women, I do respect men too, because I know that they go through the societal pressures of like you have to act this way to be considered a man.
Right. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
That's sad. It's sad that you don't get the full range, access to the full range of emotion.
Yeah.
That's a whole other part.
I know, I'm like,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
What that leads
part
to.
2, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's power in women showing their emotion. I think now especially, I think there's been a reframing. It's like powerful. You want to see an angry, powerful woman standing up for herself. That's so badass. Yeah. I love to see it.
Yeah.
A woman with
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that just how women have like the pressure, societal pressure of like looking a certain way or like always finding value or currency in their beauty, right? That men have the same amount of pressure, and it's built in just as young as females have the pressure of like being beautiful or like living up to a certain beauty standard, where I think men or young boys actually are taught, explicitly or implicitly to dampen those softer sides of themselves in order to be accepted as a male, a strong, strong man. And that is, I echo what you said about like it's sad that we don't get to see the full range. And I feel positive about like the future, and I do think that as just how gender and sexuality, we are acknowledging it as being fluid, that means that the emotions, the embodiment of it can also be fluid and can also contain both. And I think the masculine and the feminine energy belong to both.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I see it with my own son. He has long hair. I don't know if you know this, but he has long hair. He hasn't cut his hair for several years now. He doesn't want to. But that has been a struggle with certain people, and also just reminding him, because at school too, he's in TK. People are like, "Oh, are you a boy?" Or just trying to figure out what gender he is.
Yeah.
And I'm empowering him to just be like, boys can have long hair too.
Yes.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And now he's allowing me to like braid his hair, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And he loves his braid. But yeah, it's been interesting, and just I'm allowing him to feel comfortable in his own body instead of having other influence of how he should look, or if this is what you're comfortable with, like let's continue it on. This is you, and what you should be true to yourself. What do you want?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to give him the right, what's
Space, environment,
Empowerment.
guidance.
just empower him to be him instead of other influences that come into his orbit and say certain things, so
That is incredible, T. Like I'm just that is
You're
that
making
made
me cry.
so,
It's like the
my
third
heart's so happy. Yeah, I just feel like you are doing so much healing for
Yes.
generations to come, because you're going to be a mother that has provided a safe space for their young boy and love them no matter what
100%.
through all of their phases and through everything. And even like the most loving and caring parents are not always the most accepting and can be the safe space that we need, and you are that. And that is going to be flowing forever and ever beyond you both.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, we all just want to be accepted.
Yeah, belonging is huge.
Yeah,
and
a space to belong. Yeah.
I think we all are longing that. So if I could provide that for my son, And if that's what I always wanted growing up, like that's at the end of the day, that's the connection and the community that we're all kind of looking for, I feel.
Yes.
You know?
And you know that you can belong to yourself. You don't need to belong to a group. You don't need to belong to anybody. You know, there's not always going to be a space. Like, you've talked to me about this, like, even in college. Like, you think, oh, that's Latina space. That's there's going to be a space for me there. And then turns out, well, maybe actually not. That actually sometimes we perpetuate our stereotypes that put us down. And so it's like you doing that and guiding your son, and even just like, it's with such grace, like just giving him the words to stand up for himself with like, boys can have long hair too. Want to go play?
Right.
Like, it's not such a big deal. Like, let's normalize it. Like, he is going to learn that no matter where I am, I'm not going to look to fit in to a mold that does not fit me. I'm going to carve out that space for myself. I belong to me, and your first home is you. And that's so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Don't we all wish we could
I know.
have learned that lesson?
Really.
Those affirmations.
It makes me think
age.
about, well, I love what you said about belonging to yourself. And as I've taken some time, you know, to step back from like my work just to kind of focus on myself and sort of like recalibrate through some life transitions, I am learning that like how to be my own like comfort self-soother. Although I have like my community and my people, I need to know what it is to show up for myself and to be my number one comforter. And I totally experienced that the other day where I was like feeling kind of dysregulated and I was like spiraling, and I was like, well, let me just do some breathing exercises and, you know, do like my little mantra thing. And then it just was like, boom, there I am. There I'm here for me, you know. And T, when I think about you and your son, I feel what makes me think about is like the emotional abandonment that a lot of us maybe have felt in so many different settings, including with our caretakers, you know, just because we didn't feel seen, because not that they didn't want to show up for us, but because they thought like pushing us past that uncomfortable feeling was the best thing for us, rather than sitting with us alongside that feeling. And you are not doing that. You are showing up for him emotionally and not providing.
There.
Yeah, exactly.
I am there sitting with those feelings with them.
Yes.
Not.
Side by side. That's
There's no timeout. Nope.
Yeah.
We're there together. Let's go through it. Yeah.
I love that.
Incredible. Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
because
thank
it's gonna impact. It's gonna have a rippling impact.
Yeah.
You know, you are doing such amazing work.
I feel this Gen Alpha, this next generation is going to be totally different.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I know there's a lot of negativity even with Gen Z. You know, media is always going to portray the most extremes of anything. But I'm excited. I see in my students like a lot of, like, especially in first grade, there's so much flexibility there to learn. And with the boys, there's a lot of softness, you know. I think it's interpreted as, even myself, it's like, man, like, this child is angry or this and that. But, like, if you keep digging, there's always, like, a sadness under. And if I think you can help them develop the language and the coping strategies and then model it yourself. That's why teaching is so personal. You're getting to know yourself while helping your kids to understand themselves. There's a lot of hope there. There's a lot of hope. But the adults have to get it together. It's really not the kids. It's like all the adults around the kids. We have to model those coping strategies and reparent ourselves.
Definitely. And our parents, they weren't, you know, perfect, obviously. So I think we do have to be like, okay, what do we need to give to ourselves that we didn't receive because, you know, the circumstances, and our parents were really doing their best with the knowledge that they had.
Right. At that time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I used to like blame my parents so much. Like whenever I had an issue, I'm like, oh, it's my parents' fault and everything, you know. You know, when you're like a teenager, you just want to blame the world and your parents. But now I'm realizing, like, I'm so grateful. Like, they were doing the best they could with what they had at the time or what they knew. Just like we are doing the best we can with what we know, right? So it's and again, we're always evolving. But I love that you said that, because I think there is a lot of negativity out there, and there's it's like the extremes. But thanks for like reminding us, like there's a lot of hope and positivity too, and especially for you two as educators. Like I just love that you are looking at education in a different way. You're not just going there like, okay, this is just a job, but you guys are so passionate about it, and I love that. And I think please continue to do that.
I will. I love it. When I committed to this profession, I knew it would be like, I wanted it to be like for my entire life in the teaching role. I don't even want to go move into administration. Like I think this is a very difficult job, and it's a craft. But like it's just so wonderful being around kids and like getting to see just like how the generations are kind of progressing. And yeah, I only ever find hope. It's just when you go on social media and stuff where it's like they're painting these kids as like there's, and it's really the choices of the adults, right? Like if we invest in our kids, you know, but oftentimes it's just the luxury of time. Like oftentimes that's, I think that is something that does need to change. And again, parents are working multiple jobs because they love their kids and they want to provide for them. It's not for not wanting to be around them. So that is a systemic issue that does need to be fixed. And parents do need to be able to spend more time with their kids to guide them and to be able to sit with them. And not just have kids, push things off, because a lot of times it's because they're busy and they're exhausted, they're burnt out, but they can't stop to be burnt out and feel it. But yeah, I do. Yeah, kids are amazing. How can you not find hope?
In like model teacher. I just like
I
love everything that you say.
I know.
I'm like, man, like, because I recently moved into admin, and I'm like, I want her to be my teacher, because I really do feel, like
I'm slowly collecting a group of teachers. We're gonna start our own.
There you go.
Yeah.
How do I sign up? How do I sign up?
Yeah, I think it's such important work, and I think that it's important for educators, anyone that works with in education, to always feel open to like learning from our students. You know, like they teach us just as much as we get to instruct them. And like you say, like it's an opportunity to learn about ourselves and grow and develop our own, not just like professionally, but also in like our person, you know, alongside with them, and to model what it is to be excited to learn, or to learn, like, I don't know, let's find out together, you know, because I think that brings them into that conversation as an equal, that we're all doing this together, we're all figuring it out together. And I think the more that they feel that amongst adults, the less us versus them there is. Like I don't like the us versus them, like these kids these days, like if you ever hear me say that, shoot me. Okay.
I will allow you to vent though, because I do as well, because it can be frustrating. Like the attention span has changed, but there are things you can do in the classroom to like help them reclaim that for themselves. So there are challenges with social media,
but that's not their fault,
right?
You know, like that's something that.
And we have a lot of time with kids in class. Like, there's a lot of opportunity to improve there. But, yeah, this is a career that will call you out. If you're on some bullshit. Because it's like, you can't...
And the kids will call you out.
You
100%.
Can't possibly do this job, be in any proximity to kids, and be disingenuous. Because they will sniff it out. You must know this. It's like, well... Didn't you say this yesterday? Now you're doing this. It's just like, oh my God, you're right. Okay, like they will hold you to your word. So I love that you're actually implementing your coping strategies, because these are all things that we teach our kids. There's a lot of socio-emotional learning in classrooms, and it's so hard for me to not implement them and be like, well, Charlene, what did you teach your kids? Like, you're in my own personal moments, and I'm stressed. I'm like, I should breathe. I teach, like, I should breathe. Let me live by my word, right? So, it'll call you out.
And as we should. I mean, like the ability to cope with life stressors is, I mean, I think that is one of the key factors of being able to, you know, sustain like a good relationship with yourself and positive relationships with others, and to have the opportunity to do that in the education. I mean, that should always be part of our education. And I think now it's becoming very important, but I feel like it's still something that has so much room to develop.
Oh, yeah.
So much,
Yeah.
honestly. And I think we'll be better off for it in our society, you know, if we continue implementing it in a really serious manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just how to be better humans.
Yes.
With each other, better community members. I love that your mom is so connected to the community.
Yeah.
That's so actually inspiring.
It is.
Once I get off
is.
work, I'm like, I've done my part. I'm so tired.
And
But I
think
love
that's-
that she continues to give. That's what do we actually need to do to inspire change?
Yeah.
Is like,
Yeah. Growing up, we always volunteered in the community, and like she was a single mom, and you know, she was working 2 jobs, and I felt like as a child growing up, we'd be like in the soup kitchen. I'm like, Mom, why are we here? We like need this. And she's like, it's not really about us. It's about them. We have enough, you know? So she always instilled those values in us, like, hey, like be grateful for what you have, one, but also it's like, don't ever feel like greedy, like you have enough and there are other people out there that need our help because we're capable of helping them, you know? So, yeah, she's just like living by that. Like she's been living by that for a long time. And I started, you know, I had taken off work too. And I started volunteering with her, and these women are incredible. I mean, we had a funeral for somebody. It was somebody that had passed in the church. And my mom went with this woman to pick out like the dress for the sister that had passed, like, cause she just didn't have anyone else in her family to like help her. And so my mom like took all this time to do that. And then I helped out at the reception just to like serve food and everything. Like my mom got like a community together to like help this woman, you know? And she didn't really know her that well. They weren't like friends, but I mean, it just shows you like it's, you know, when we show up for each other, that's when great things can really happen. And it's not always about us. I can sit here all day and be like, oh my God, these are my problems. Like, I have to figure this out. But it's not doing me any good, and it's not helping me grow or heal when I isolate myself that way. So I feel like giving back to the community is going to be like the next phase in my career, in my life too. Like I want to follow in her footsteps, but we have to help each other. Just like in this room, we have to help each other.
And even in your example, it's like women are the instigators of that change in community building. It's like, it's beautiful, especially given like how crazy the world is right now and how hopeless like we can feel sometimes. It's like so nice to have something like that. It's a gift, I think, to be able to take your mind off of that so that you can focus on helping another. In a way, it's really more of a benefit to you because I'm busy, I'm organizing, I have things to do, and I love that. I love that you're gonna honor your mom that way.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Legacy. Exactly. And I think for all of us, I mean, you don't have to do community work the way I'm doing it, but like giving back in some way. I mean, this podcast, we created this podcast as a safe space, as a platform to be able to speak for those that are scared to speak, you know? And so we're kind of giving back in that way. So yeah, I think, you know, I'm sure you guys have your things that you want to do, and you probably give back already. You give back as educators so much already. So yeah, I think it's just, to me, it's always been top of mind. And I like to encourage other people to do the same. So,
Yeah, you're leading by example. I think also coming back to social media, it's like the extremes of what's going on. I think it reminds me of a book we were talking about. I haven't gotten around to reading it. It's talking about, again, about third spaces, these other spaces that we cultivate, where it's like different people of different backgrounds can come together for like a common goal that can be bowling. I think the example in the book is like bowling. It might be titled Bowling Alone. I forget who the author is. And something like community, it's like there's an interest there for everyone. And if it's such a localized effort, whether it's just involving your neighbors or the people from your church or after school community efforts, it's such a powerful thing that you can just do to bring folks together for a common goal that has nothing to do with like politics. It has to do with helping somebody move, helping someone with a funeral. And that's like something that everybody could connect to. And if we can have more spaces like this, we cannot stop demonizing one another and perhaps understand each other better and perhaps
Oh my gosh.
get some change. That's really the grassroots.
The more local community and changing that, because the broader world is that's going to be tough to make a dent. But like starting small, starting with your local area is where you can make change.
Totally.
We need to go to our neighborhood council meetings, guys.
Oh, we do. Yeah, I'm always like, I gotta go. I've never once done it. I know my bucket list. Yeah, for
we
sure.
Can go
we
together.
can go together.
There
Yes.
you go.
I know. We really should go together. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. We need
There
to
we
make
go.
a pact. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
And then we need to meet up for the
after.
gossip. Like,
how was
our
it?
meeting?
How was
over
it?
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I did go to one. It was really interesting. It was just really interesting. The people that showed up, there was like a lot of business owners and members of the community, but to hear people's perspectives on like our unhoused community members, the different perspectives, the different opinions, what to do with them, kind of like as if they were just like objects, you know, like that was just so fascinating. And it got a little contentious, and it was at the public library, you know, and I was like, it might be boring, but we were invited to go because we had like a homeless encampment around our apartment. And so we went, and it was truly like fascinating. And I was like, man, like it's interesting to see this in action, and there's no necessarily right or wrong way, but like it also doesn't feel the most productive because not everyone is in the most regulated place to speak on such manners, right? Anyway, it was really interesting. But one of my like, I don't know, I guess philosophies about like this life experience in general is that kind of what you're saying, and I think that we're all saying here is, I really feel that at least in our westernized society, our families, you know, our children, our parents, they become our community, which is great. But everyone that's outside of our family is not, like it isolates us from our actual like neighbors, right? Yeah. But I think if we did the inverse, where we treated our community members like our family, then I think our society would look a lot different.
Well, there's a vulnerability there, Karina. You're asking what you're asking for. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I am not close to my family. And so I have felt that I am... No, I haven't felt. I am intentionally trying to create...
your chosen family.
A chosen group of women. Every once in a while, there's like a Jacob. There's like a man where I'm like, okay, you can be part of my community. I accept you. Shout out to Jacob. I'm gonna have to share this with him. But yeah, that's been interesting because there is a vulnerability there. You know, you try to organize things, people can't always show up, and that's okay. And there's also an obligation there. It's like, okay, well, if you're trying to create community and you want others to be there for you, then you're going to have to inconvenience yourself sometimes. You're going to have to go to that birthday party. You're going to have to help that person move. You're going to have to do this. And you got to reframe it from like, it's a have that I get to like, I get to. I get to be there for another woman that's in my community. And if I want to keep that person, that human in my community, like I need to reciprocate. And so there is a, you know, and maybe because of what you shared where your family, you know, maybe first generation folks, it's like, you know, you're leaving everything. That is so terrifying. You leave everything, come to a whole other country. You don't even know where you're going to work. Who do you even know? Like, that's insane. Yeah. That faith in yourself that you're going to make it happen. You have to. So yeah, I can see why your family becomes, you know, your community. But I think we can learn a lot from, like, I was recently in San Francisco for for CABE. It's a bilingual education conference. And we did a little walking tour to Chinatown. Their Chinatown there is massive. And that community is, like, vibrant and strong. I do know San Francisco has, like, a revitalization effort right now to try to attract tourists again. But there are a lot of, like after, with the pandemic and everything, like nobody is going out there for tourism. And so there's a whole effort. But anyway, all that to say is like it can be done. Sometimes it's along cultural lines, you know, sometimes religious lines. But you can do it for yourself. I think even just starting small with your neighbors, like having just like a gathering.
Yeah.
You got to be open to other personalities.
It's true. Yeah. You do. Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a vulnerability there, but that's important. I was thinking about that with the fires. Was it last year around this time, right?
Yeah.
And all of the, like, we thought Highland Park, like, we thought it was going to make it all the way to Highland Park. And I was thinking, like, who do we even know? Like,
right. Who are our people?
Who are even, like, our people? What would have happened if, like, I was at work at the time? Who's going to get my dogs?
Yeah.
You know? And my family's all the way in the valley. Like, so it's like, yeah, recently I've been thinking about, like, neighbors as community.
Yeah.
But it can be, you know, for me in my space, it's, like, a lot of amazing women like you that, you know, that I want to stay in community with for a long time. But there's work there. You have to put that effort in.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, your mom does that.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that it's all women, like, organizing for each other.
Yeah.
That's just so, and not even, like, I'm sure it's done with a lot of humility as well.
It is.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like they're not looking for recognition. It's just what you do.
It's just what you do,
Yeah.
and they enjoy it. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my gosh, somebody forced them to do it.
Right.
It's like
No.
they love working together. I loved, you know, volunteering and working with them too.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like her community that I'm kind of part of, which is great. But yeah, I think community is important for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's like it could start with, you know, your neighbors. But yeah, vulnerability is a huge part of it. Humility, all of those things. But it's like so worth it, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If
And
you're
I-
thinking long term.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we talked about, like, having, like, a sisterhood, and, you know, I feel like that's something that I've, like, I've, over the years,
That's what it
didn't
is.
even realize I was cultivating,
Yeah.
and it was almost like my future self knew that, like, Karina, you're going to need this. One, like, just wait. Just wait, but you're going to need it, and all these women are going to show up. They're just going to be there, and they're going to be there to show up for you. And it makes me think about, like, your mom, you know, and how, like, they're showing up for each other, and how it doesn't even feel like a duty or like an obligatory thing, because I think it's so enjoyable to be around other women who are just so happy to be around each other, to, like, get together and do something together, because you also get to gossip at the same time.
I love
you're,
it.
like,
It's my
putting
favorite
whatever
part.
it is, you know, that's just, like, the best thing. It's just so much fun to just, like, share lives together, you know, and I just think the, like, sisterhood, that potential is powerful. It's like sovereign. I think it's just like a sacred space, and I'm so glad that I am not, like, so much of the guy's girl anymore the way it used to be. And I'm like, the whole time I've been missing out on this, like, beautiful thing. But it's, you know, timing that's just how life is, and I'm so glad to be here with you. I'm so happy to have reconnected, you know, with Tiff, you know, after all the years of, like, first having met you and then being able to meet you, and then Charleen, you came into my life also, just like, I know, it's just so wonderful. I'm just like, man,
It was a man that brought us together.
Oh!
So actually,
Thank you. Yeah, we'll give him all the credit. But we took it from there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, gotta find your
love it.
tribe. I mean,
Yeah.
look at this. Look at this tribe
the
right here.
village.
Yeah.
and isn't that a
Village.
reclamation too of our culture, right? I think when our parents left their country, you know, another thing you leave behind is that community,
Yeah.
you know, and there's so much there that's rooted there, whether it's like your family, the church, like if it's a smaller rural community or if it was a more urban community that they were a part of, and they leave that to come start anew. So unless they recreate that, it's kind of like a little bit of that is lost. And I imagine, you know, with at least my family, it's like on each side there were 10 siblings. I believe like 9 or 10 siblings. So I imagine women were like always working together, always gossiping, cooking, cleaning, caring for the home together as a village.
Yeah.
And if we can find a way to reclaim that, the westernized culture is just, I mean, it's just, you're out on your own. You got to be successful.
Isolated.
You got to be the top.
You have to be independent.
Yeah.
And if we can go back to those communal values, but there is a vulnerability there, right? You have to be prepared for, but you're not thinking about that when you're just part of a community. You're thinking about what's good for the collective.
Right. Yes. And I do think that there could be like some cost, and like some like discomfort, like, oh, I don't like how they did, I think about like having, roommates. At some point you're like, I'm done with roommates, but before, like, roommates are so much fun. And you set in your ways. And I'm like, wait a minute, does that mean I'm getting old if I'm like not willing to like compromise on like which way to put like to install the toilet paper? I don't know.
Or even traveling is a good example, because now it's like, well, I used to be okay with like couch surfing, which I told you, but maybe not so much in my own bed.
But I do think it helps cultivate like a youthfulness, when we can work together and like work through with differences, not even like change them, but just like work with alongside differences. I think that just encourages the neuroplasticity and like for us to kind of create new neural pathways. Let's do the village thing. I'm down. Let's do it. Yeah, tear down those walls. Yeah, especially with parenting. I mean, I always,
oh my gosh,
I don't have any kids, but I think about like if I were to have like, I need to have 2 other women around, please, like because they're just so much. It's so much to do, and I think. It's amazing when people can come together to raise children together. I think it does, take a village, just like in the classroom and schools. So I know it can be really tough. And our moms did it like kind of on their own. It's wild.
Yeah. So wild.
I don't know how my mom did it. I feel like these are, like, I have a to-do list of like a list of questions that I need to ask her. Because she was so young. She came here with my grandpa, who I met as a baby, but I don't remember him really. And it's like, how did she do it? She's like so young. Where was the community there? I want to have kids. I've told you this, but I that's kind of the imperative that I have right now for cultivating a community. I'm like, who are the women that are going to take care of my kids when I'm at work? Or,
who will I rely on?
Who am I going to rely on when I'm going through it and I'm doing something I've never done before, and it's like so uniquely woman, like childbearing, like. And I think about that because I'm not so close to my family, so it's like, who's going to be there? Yeah. I wonder, like, for you.
I was like a whole other episode where I'm like, I feel like just even having, motherhood is such a collective experience, but I imagine it can also be an isolating experience at the same time. Like, it's so crazy. I think about it. I don't know if I've told with you, but like, as I'm going to be 42 in April, and I just think like the existential crisis that I went through a few years ago about like aging and like, oh my God, like I am vain. What? Like I'm getting older. Like, what is this? And suddenly I became so like almost like viscerally aware of my own like currency, and like my beauty, and that suddenly I'm no longer in my prime. And I never thought about it before. And now suddenly it's like on the top of my mind. And I know that every single woman experiences this. However, I feel alone in this feeling of like a loss and like a grieving of my youth. And when I think about having a child, I feel like that's a similar, like there's like a very isolated experience because every woman's story is so different, and every woman is so different in how they're experiencing their having the whole process of what it is to have a child, So anyway, I'm sure that is
it's
so much.
Another episode. Another episode. But I will tell you this, like the nurse that was there in the delivery room with me, I'm so thankful she was there. As much as I wanted to have a doula or what have you, the nurse there helped me get through that birthing process. Like, I'm just thankful for the women that have come into my life and just really have been there and the things that I was looking for in life. But a whole different episode.
I'm here for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
call, please let us know.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I think those are all like really amazing stories. And I mean, and they don't, I never hear still a woman to be like, let me tell you about my birthing story. Like outside of a private space between two women or like a small intimate gathering of women. And it literally brings life. It perpetuates life. And so many of the stories have just been untold as if it didn't, as if it was just nothing.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, how do we not know our birthing stories? I don't even know I don't know the play by play. Like, Mom, break it down for me. You know, I know some details, but man, I mean, these stories are truly amazing. And I just think that I would love for us to start honoring them by letting women feel emboldened to share their stories.
Yeah.
The difficult parts too. I already struggle with depression. It's under control now, which is why I can be here and be productive. But I think about that. I think about how is my depression and how is that gonna affect like my own birthing experience and what is that gonna be like? Because it's always depicted as like this like beautiful thing, but I imagine there's a lot of like complexity to it. I mean, we're seeing it in cinema too. I do think that there is this urge, even then it's just like white women, white mothers like going on a rampage and like just like doing a lot of reclamation for themselves. And so I do, even in those movies and that genre, want to see a diversity there of experience. But I imagine it's really complex and it's not just all easy and just to like beautiful. I imagine there are difficult parts too, and even just not seeing that representation there of women of color and their birthing stories and what it's like and the dynamics of your own very personal experience with like how you and your family and maybe even your partner wants you to go about certain things. I imagine that's like so layered. Yeah. I mean, and not all women have an easy time after birth too.
Postpartum.
The postpartum.
They don't talk about that.
Depression can be so but so community
We will
is so
talk about
important,
it.
so
Yes.
vital. Not just for that, not just because you're like, well, I'm going to need a village, but also you want to be there for other women as well that you love so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and sharing those stories will help
Yes.
another.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Even though it could be a different experience, but at least like, hey, this was what happened to me. This is my story. Maybe it might happen to you, or if not, like at least you're aware of like this can happen. You know, because postpartum is like a whole different. They say that it's like the 4th trimester. It's like a whole nother level of beast that no one really prepares you for. You know,
And it was never really recognized either. Like a lot of people are just like, nope, that's not a real thing, but it is. And actually there's some workplaces now that actually are looking into like offering leave for postpartum, which is incredible. I mean, we've already gone through like workplaces like extending maternity leave, you know, which is so important. So I think just progressing on that side of things is so important. But it's an emotional process, everything. Birthing, I turned 41 like a few months ago. Like I was going through I texted her, I was like, dude, thank you. I was like, I think I'm going some like perimenopause. Like, I don't know, like something's going on.
That's another
here
thing.
and here.
I know.
Like,
tells you about
you know
it.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's all emotional. It's an emotional roller coaster. But we need to like talk about it and share the stories. I think you and I first connected about the aging thing at the party I met you at. And we were like, why don't people talk about this?
It feels like it's like
Why are we
you know,
ashamed?
Women, they do gatekeep. You know, even my friend, I was with her this week, and we were like, having fun and getting ready to go out at night. She was doing her makeup, and I was just trying to take photos candidly of like this experience together. And she's like, "Don't give away my makeup tricks, okay?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh God, girl." But I feel like that's just, I don't know why we do that. We kind of gatekeep recipes, passed down recipes, like we'll give you everything except for that one little special ingredient.
Or they don't even give the right measurement.
Right.
It's just like, this is the ingredients, but I don't know how much I need to put
Exactly,
into the pot.
Or like, where did you get that? Oh, I don't know. I picked it up from somewhere. Yeah. But I have a friend who's like going through perimenopause, and even me, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Like, I there's something like, like I know it's important, and I'm so glad that she's like so open about it. But I'm just like, but it's so scary.
Like, I'm not ready to receive.
Yeah, but I have another friend that I thought would be fun to do like a podcast about getting old, and how it'd be neat to have people who are, in different. Transitions and different ages, because I don't know what I have in store, or what I could have in store. And I think that aging can be very isolating, and the journey looks different for everyone, because our bodily experiences are different. So I think being able, especially as women, to speak about those times in our lives that are hard and challenging and feel isolating, we feel alone, man, again, it just continues to cultivate and perpetuate like a community that we can talk about this and we're not alone, But yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I know it's like another puberty I hear, and I was like, I'm getting acne, like what is
I was like breaking out. I was like texting her. I was like, dude, something's going on with my body. Crazy. My period's like going crazy. She's like, like, I mean, I know she's not a doctor, but I just needed to vent to somebody.
Yes.
Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I started asking my mom questions like, okay, when did you start? Like, when do you start losing your period, or like when did you start experiencing these changes? And I know everyone will be different, and it won't be totally reflective of her experience. But she never talked. I mean, she didn't even talk to me about my period until it came. Stuff like that. It's just like. Again, there's like this gatekeeping, and I don't know really why it exists.
I don't know about like between women that, just like a woman in passing or similar women our age, but I think for sure, like when I think about my mom, like I don't think it was, maybe they don't know how to talk about it.
True.
I don't think that they have the words for it. I learned about a period in 5th grade when they have you do that class about your body, and I was there front row like, and what is that? Like, and I was like taking notes, and I was asking questions because I'm like, this feels very important. Like a big change is about to happen to my body. So I got that sex talk. From school. I don't even know if my parents knew what they were signing. Oh, yeah. Because they have to agree for you to be in that class.
Right.
But I was asking so many questions. My parents, I have 2 older sisters, so they didn't even talk to me about it. They're 13 years older than me. They didn't even talk to me about it. But I learned from school what a period was and what I was going to get. And that was... Oh my gosh, I'm having an epiphany right now. Maybe that was the point where I learned the value of education and that I could educate myself. And my family's not going to tell me about what a period is. What else are they not going to tell me about? So I need to start reading books about my body and the period. I'm like, so we have to like teach ourselves. And so I don't know. Maybe the gatekeeping is not so much the right word. I don't know if it's just like a lack of understanding and a discomfort with it. It feels really intimate, right?
Yes.
Period and perimenopause, and I don't know if they understand the changes themselves. I don't know what conversations my mom has with her doctor about those changes. I would hope they impart that knowledge onto us, but I don't know. Have your moms been open?
I feel like you're
with
right.
You at all?
Maybe it's like they don't know how to talk about it. Right?
I don't know.
I don't think it was modeled for them either. So
Exactly.
It's just like, how do I
It was just like you get your period, like move on, like like
Here's
it's not
the
a big
products you
deal.
need
To me, it was a big deal. I was like, what is
Here
going
it is.
on?
Let me know.
Yeah.
Right.
I think when I got my period, I was at. Now we're just
Yeah.
I'm just
Let's
letting it
do
out.
it.
Come on, Women's
Love
Month. I was at the Valentine's Day school dance.
Oh
my God.
And I had a date.
Wow.
I had a date.
Good for you.
And I like got my period. Like I went to the bathroom. I was like, wait, what was going on? Like, I mean, I knew, but I also was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then, like, we had, like, those ancient, like, quarter thing, you know.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, like, my best friend, I was like, can you get one of these? She's like,
Pay
are
for
you
it,
okay? And I'm
pay for it.
like, you know? And then, like, I didn't have a cell phone or anything. Like, I couldn't text my mom. So then when I got home, I was like, I wanted to tell her. And she was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I think I got my period. She's like, what? I'm like, I was like whispering, like as if I was ashamed. She's like, oh, okay. She's like, just go to the bathroom. There's like pads there. Like she didn't even really like want to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had so many questions. I'm like, how long is this going to happen for? What do I do tomorrow? Like there's all these things. But I don't think she was just really like prepared to have that conversation. And we never ever talked about it again, you know? Like, I mean, no one gave me the sex talk. Like I had to learn all of that stuff by myself. I think the closest I talked to my mom about like sexuality or anything was I was married before and we were like thinking about having kids. And I think, she was like asking like, oh, like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel ready? You know, because I got married when I was 35. And she's like, you know, and she's totally like, you can have kids for as long, you know, because now it's like geriatric pregnancy, right? But she didn't believe in that. She was like, you can have kids like
That's
for a long time. Like she, like I loved that encouragement, but it wasn't like a conversation, like an emotional conversation. I was looking to lean on her, like, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna be a good mom. Like I'm having like anxiety, like but for her it was just more of a, okay, just if you're gonna do it, you know, it's gonna happen. You know, it wasn't. There was no emotion behind it. She just wanted to like. Not
and even
talk
that
about
detachment, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
That's also, there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, and then I'm sure it's because that's how she was raised. Like maybe no one talked to her about it, so I can't blame her for not knowing how to talk to me about it. But it's a lot. It's a lot to be a woman. Our bodies are different. We're going through all these changes all the time. So yeah, sometimes I just want to text her and be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah. Please do. You know. Yeah. I mean, that's the same. I think I learned it through school. Like I didn't have that same talk, other than like what it is. One day I'll get that, and then here are the products for it.
Yeah.
But no real. Yeah, no real conversation. Yeah. So it's just all through school.
I remember even for like a bra. So I was sent to the mall with my dad to go get a bra.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So my dad would just be like, okay, let me know when you're ready and I'll come pay. And I was like, okay. So
I have to give props to your dad, by the way, for being there.
Yeah. I don't know what, that's another I'm like, who? I have a mom. I got two sisters.
Yes.
Whose idea was this? My dad?
It's like they like had pick straws. Like,
right.
Dad, it's
like,
your turn.
Wild. It's like, you can just give me like a bra. Like you should go get me one. So I remember looking for like a cami. Like I was looking for like a top that wasn't a bra, that was like a shirt. So when I went to go pay, it wasn't like a bra there, you know? So it was like a shirt. So I remember that was one of the first things. And it was like wild, just moments like that where it's like, and I remember being sent again to get like pads with my dad at the store. And he would just like wait at the end of the line. And I had to go like, you know, it's so overwhelming. And like looking at it's a whole sizing system. There's all kinds of feminine products. Yeah. You're just like, I feel like this is going to be enough. I don't know. I would always get like the variety package. Yeah. I have no idea.
Gotta be safe with the variety.
One of these has gotta be right.
Did you hide it? Like, I remember like hiding, like, you know, like you like put it like, I'll get something else. Like
a magazine,
an emergency.
I did. So I've actually never shared this with anybody before. I might cry. So I remember where I was when I got my period. I was in like the line at school to get, I think it was like 11 or 12, and I was getting like a snack. I was like, we're our little convenience kind of store at school. And I remember I'm like, how did I know? I have no idea how I knew how it would feel, but I felt something weird. And I was like, I knew it was my period. I was like, and I told my friend, I was like, I think I got my period. I'm going to go to the office. And then I just like left, and I left the line, and I went to the office, and my friends were like, are you okay? Do you want us to go with you? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I got my period. I'm going to go to the office. They were like, what? And I don't know how I knew. So I went to the office, and they give you like that brick of a pad.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing.
It's like a cloud in between your
Yeah.
legs. You're just like, what?
It's like, I'm like, how is this going to absorb anything? It's like it was so rough. That was like one of the worst things.
Yeah.
Like, I hope feminine products are better now for kids in schools. But, and then obviously I like knew my sisters had their period. So I was like stealing feminine products from my sister, and I was hiding my period, and I was like not telling anybody.
Why did you feel like you had to hide?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's like maybe the lack of talking about it makes things really taboo.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I don't know why. I have like 2 older sisters. Like, let me just tell you.
Yeah.
I could have told anybody if I didn't feel comfortable telling my mom. So I hid it for a while. And I don't remember how my mom found out, but I don't know. It was just like she found out, and then it was another unsaid thing. And then they would send me with my dad to go get pads. Like, that was crazy. It's like, why? So it's like, I just like will never. So I remember how that felt. So like when my niece, who I was kind of raised like a sister with, when she got her period, I refused for that to happen to her. So we had a full I gave her the sex talk.
Nice.
I gave my brother the sex talk.
Good for you.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
My mom
Birds
called.
and the bees.
My mom called me. She's like, I think your brother's like, has a girlfriend. I think,
Things are happening.
And I was like,
I
was like, oh, okay. Do you want me to talk to him? So it was like a Thanksgiving dinner. I was like, do you want me to talk to him? She's like, yeah, please, if you could. I just like don't want anything to happen. I don't want her to, And I was like, oh, okay.
So I love that you can't like say anything.
She just wouldn't say it. So I kidnapped my brother. I go pick him up, and I was like, do you want a ride to Thanksgiving dinner? So I pick him up. I think it was like a dinner or something. And then in the car, he's trapped with me. I just started talking about sex, and I was like, so, and by this point, I'm sure they had already had sex before. There was no way. And he was so uncomfortable. He was so uncomfortable, yeah. But I don't know, yeah. So I forced the sex talk on anybody I could who would hear me. Because I just remember how weird it was. It was so weird, and I just don't know why. I don't know why, but I think it's that. I don't know if it's this way with Filipino families, but I feel like with Mexican families and Salvador families, I don't know, at least in my family, there was a lot of things that were just made to feel taboo just because of the lack of conversation around it. And I don't know if necessarily it was that they didn't want to, but I think a lot of it's they couldn't. There was an open dialogue. So, yeah, man, periods. I just refuse. Yeah, I do want to write a children's book one day. Maybe the first one will be. I'm sure there's others on it, but a period. What is a period, and and one that you can read to your kid when they're little, because girls can get their periods super young, 7, 8, 9 years old. Can you imagine how scary that is? You have no one's ever talked to you about that.
Yeah.
One day you just start bleeding. They don't do the sex talk till 5th grade. So it's how is a little girl supposed to make sense of that? That's so scary.
Yeah. I think my mom thought she was gonna die, or she thought she was dying.
I've
really
heard that
sick,
as well.
because her mom never told her, and then it just came.
No.
And she remembers, and she felt really dirty. I remember that. So she would be she'd shower twice a day, but there was just no explanation or anything like that. Yeah. And I didn't have the talk until it happened, and then it was mostly not it wasn't biological, this is what's happening, let me explain that what happened in school. But I remember she was and the only way you get rid of it is if you get pregnant, and I was like, how do I do that?
Because
I was like, I do not want to have a period. Let's do this. Of course, I didn't even know really what sex was either, but I was like, okay.
What's the fastest way?
But I remember I was just like so terrified to go to school. I was like, please don't make me go to school. Please, 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 please. And she's like, you're going to go to school. You're like, yeah, like it's no big deal, you know? And I was like, please, I can't. Like, I just know if I just knew, just let me like have my like space. Let me experience it, what it is like for a day without having to worry about anything else. And thankfully, she did let me stay home. And then like after that first day, I was like, okay, I got this, you know? I still think it's bullshit that we have to like pay, you know, like pay for tampons and pads. Like that is so ridiculous.
Seriously. What is it, the pink tax?
Oh,
right?
exactly. Yeah. I feel the same way about like textured hair, you know, like the products for it we're talking about are like so expensive. And if I don't do it, then I look like a frizzy mess. Like I look unprofessional, you know, kind of thing. So anyway,
that's also another conversation. We were talking earlier about just on the way here, I'm like, save it. But we were talking about, and you mentioned this earlier today too, is like just like image and the image that you have to portray. Even just as a Latina, it's like so interesting. It's like I had to fit into this like hot, sexy, spicy Latina. I've literally been called spicy by men. It's kind of wild. They think that's, anyway. But also when my sisters were growing up, because they're so much older than I am, I was seeing them kind of trying to fit themselves into this very like thin white mold. And I see that coming back around now. I see it through social media for the young kids. There's like a whole like I knew it when I started seeing like the Y2K aesthetic and like the low rise jeans back. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, is skinny back? Is skinny back? Is it back? And so and especially now with the drugs that are making it possible, it's like we're coming back. And I just hope that women remember for, you know, if it's not for themselves, but for the kids, like, please just remember not to perpetuate these toxic expectations from women. So interesting.
But I think there is an argument to be had about like, let's do it for ourselves. Yes. Because how we treat ourselves is going to be, it's always going to be somehow like implicitly, I guess, what is the word? Like our younger ones are going to be, they're going to be shown what that looks like. Like when you saw your sisters looking at themselves and like judging their bodies, just like how my mom would like be like, oh my gosh, my gray hair, you know, now I'm like doing the same thing rather than like, oh, gray hair, like, oh, I got a new wrinkle, you know, stuff like that. Imagine if we lived in a world where like our parents like, you know, enjoyed aging, right? And they like embraced it in a different way.
We can reframe it. It can be like, this is another way to be. It doesn't mean that's the way that you have to be or appear, but this can be one of the ways, you know. But yeah, it's complex, I feel.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I think that's really important. I think it's always a challenge, I think, for women to accept what they look like, especially just because there's always like body trends, you know, that
bodies
they will always
not
be
trends. It's so crazy.
I think, to answer your question earlier, I mean, it's the same with us. And we just did an episode a few months ago about like the over-sexualization of Asian American women and how they're portrayed in films. And it's like we're these quiet, obedient, sexual beings or sexual slaves. And I mean, growing up, like, especially I grew up in the Midwest, so I was like the only Asian girl in my class. But when I got to high school, it was kind of like a hot, exotic thing, you know? But yeah, I was constantly trying to fit in. I mean, my mom was putting me in like pageants and modeling. And I remember I went to like this modeling audition. I was 15, and everyone there was tall, white, blonde, blue-eyed. I was like the only Asian person there with the round face. I remember the agent because she was like, yeah, you just look too ethnic. It was like for the Mall America catalog. And she was like, your face is too round. Like she was like just pointing all these things out. And now things have evolved because a lot of like my friends who are models are like, man, your face would be so great because that's what they're looking for, the round, cute face. Like everyone's like injecting their face to like make it all
now
plump.
it's the youthfulness, right? So now in addition to the thinness, that's back. That trend is back.
But like diversity is a big thing in the modeling world, you know? So I think it's just it's always trends and things are always evolving. And I always struggle to figure out my identity. We talked about this a lot, the blue contacts and everything. And but at the end of the day, you have to just really be comfortable in your own skin and true to yourself. I mean, why live your life trying to be somebody else? Like what a waste to do that. So I mean, I still struggle with it. Yeah, I got the gray hairs. I covered it up today, you know. I mean, we all feel self-conscious in some way, but I think now at 41, I feel more confident and happy with myself than I ever did when I was like 22 and
that's amazing.
Whatever. So just let that empower you guys.
I feel that way. I feel you cannot pay me to like go back to like when I was younger. I wouldn't even want to go back to when I was 25. Like that was crazy. The things that I did not know and the little things that I would let upset me and bother me. Like I'm much just like you. I love to hear that. It makes me so happy. Yeah. Because we know so much more now.
Yes.
And all this wisdom.
At peace with a lot of things.
Yes.
I embrace that now.
The peace.
Yes. Yes. I'm the same way. Like I'm so confident.
Yeah, the not caring. Oh, that's the best part.
Yes.
Not giving a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the best part about getting older. Yes. Like I don't care. Yeah. Going out with friends and like dancing, like I'm wearing flats, I'm wearing my sneakers.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I don't even like I'm so
chic,
sorry that you
okay?
feel like you have to wear those really high heels and whatever. Like I mean, great. Like if you love to do that, that's fine. I remember being there, but I'm just like I'm here for myself and to dance.
I'm like my hair's in a ponytail, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's one of the first times we went out. It's like I think we were both wearing like a black t-shirt. And black,
our
like
baggy
really
pants.
baggy, comfy pants, and then some clogs, a different version of clog. And I'm like, oh my God, are we wearing the same? We were just going out dancing, and I think we were the most comfortable people on the dance floor. And I was having so much fun. And it's like I got to do that already. I got to already dress up in a really like skimpy thing and high heels, and like it was fun. It was fun. It was fun for the time, but now it's like
my feet hurt.
My feet hurt.
And I need to go to work tomorrow. And
exactly.
No.
You can't replace the feet. No. I love that.
Yeah. And then not feeling like you have to perform. And I think that's like on so many levels. Not have to perform to feel your ethnicity, your culture. Not have to perform like womanhood either. Not have to perform youthfulness. Like it's just like you are who you are at the stage that you are in with all your lived experience, and that's enough, and you don't have to perform for anybody. And it can be so liberating.
It is. Yes. I do feel liberated more than ever. So
this was such a great conversation.
Thank you so
I
much.
know. I'm
so much needed.
I know.
Wow.
I feel very uplifted.
Thank
I want to go out dancing now.
Yes. Thank you for the soul food. It's so good. Yeah.
You gals are wonderful women.
Yes.
This is a wonderful panel of us. And I was saying this earlier, like this is our first time doing 4 people on this podcast, so this is amazing. So
Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was fun.
Do we want to pose a question to our listeners? We usually do a question at the end. I guess maybe we could do the question that you guys had in mind. What does it mean to be a first-gen Latina, Filipina? Maybe you could do that. Do you think that we could? Yeah, so maybe we'll do that. We'll answer the question too, but for our listeners out there, what does it mean to you to be a first-gen American? What does that look like to you? How does that feel? And in honor of Women's History Month, this is not a question, but it's a task. Just reach out to the women in your life. Check in with them. Send them a quick text like, thank you, I love you.
Be kind.
Yeah. But I'll answer the question. To me, being a first-gen Filipino American means honoring my ancestors, but also moving in the direction that's going to break the cycle that we were talking about, and just embracing the culture, but also promoting diversity in communities, which I think is getting very lost, especially in this political climate. So for me, that's really important. And just staying true to myself. I'm Filipino enough. I am enough.
Yes,
You
you
know,
are.
but my whole life I've been hearing you're not Filipino enough. Well, I am. So
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna own it. But yeah, that's what it means to me. What about you?
I really want to echo everything that you just said, especially the true to yourself, because I think what your true heart desire, like, don't forget what that is. Especially growing up where I'm like checking everyone else before my needs or my emotional self. Now I'm trying to recalibrate that or software update, saying like, let me choose what I want and what I want to do for me, not what I want to do for pleasing someone else or other people's perceptions. Like, what do I truly believe in? You know, and cycle breaking, as I'm actively trying to do.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
And I think that's, and yeah, just reconnecting with my mom a little bit more and finding out more about her history, because as much as like how you have questions for your mom and your family, like there's a lot that were unanswered or just assumed, and I'm just curious to know, like, how did that come to be, or like, you know, why did you choose it this way? You know, just questions of like how, basically the origin story. You know, just curious to know how this all, you know, because we came from a huge, our mom's side, huge family. So it's just like that family dynamic, just so curious to know more about that.
Yeah.
For sure. I love that.
Yeah.
We can do it together.
Yeah. What about you, Charleen?
What does it mean to me to be a first generation Mexican American? I don't know. I think that answer could change. I think right now it's meaning being my own home, reassuring myself that I am enough and that I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And just being like liberated and being free to reclaim all the Mexican things, like, and be really excited and a proud Mexican American, Mexican first, and like being proud of that. And that's a way of reaching back to my ancestors and, you know, holding their hands and like bringing them with me. At the same time, letting go of the things in the culture and the family that are not helpful, you know? And so finding that balance.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Karina?
So I'm Salvadoran American, and I think, like Charleen, I think it can always change. It's kind of always evolving. But I can't help but think about my own mother and just what a rebel she is, and like in her own right. And I do think when you are an immigrant, you are rebelling against something. You are going against the grain for one reason or various reasons, and doing something because you believe it for the betterment of not just yourself, but like your family. And so I think it's being kind of like your own rebel, and which means being true to yourself, even if it means not following other people's expectations or in aligning with other people's perceptions of yourself, and kind of maybe letting go of like people pleasing. That's something for me I personally struggle with. And creating or rebuilding your identity, which I also feel like I'm in a phase in. And I think a lot of our parents, they had to reinvent themselves. They had to recreate or rebuild their identity as in their new home. And even though we may not be immigrating from one space to another, from one country to another, I think that we are all in transition into like the next version of ourselves, and that's always like reforming our identity. So I guess it's you know, being your own rebel and rebuilding.
I love that.
I really love that. Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. I truly feel like, yes, we needed this time. Her and I were talking about like peace earlier, and you know, I always love to work and collaborate with other women. We love that too, and it's just, it helps us grow. Because there are times when you're just feeling weak, but like right now, I'm like, I feel uplifted. I have like all this wisdom. So thank you for sharing your guys' experience, and thank you for just your role as educators in the community. I admire that so much. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for holding the space, and thank you for trusting me and letting me.
Yes! Oh my gosh! You guys are welcome back anytime.
Yes,
I super
please.
love this. Yeah.
Be kind to one another, okay?
Yes.
Be kind, be kind. Happy Women's Month. And yeah, if any of this resonated with you, please like, share, send it to a friend. And yeah, we will see you next time.
See you. Bye. Yay.